All right, so yeah, we're going to see how this goes. Anytime I speak a little bit on this whole not war that's going on, it tends to ruffle some feathers. But just hear me out, and just to clear the air, I voted for Trump, and I support what I support a lot of what he's done. And another thing, real quickly, is I don't have anything against Jewish people. I have a beef with the corrupt Israel, modern day Israel government. Let me put it to you like that. Let's get modern day. There's a whole different scenario when it comes to how that was all put in place. Big difference. Nothing against Jewish people, okay? So just to let you know, so we don't get that misconstrued. But because of modern day Israel and their beef that is really weird and how just a lot of ins and outs, I'm going to allow Alex Jones from InfoWars to explain a lot of this and where the economy is going to go and how much of a bad idea this was to get involved at this level. And a lot of people are going to say, well, it's where the United States is trying to, such and such China. China's right now is actually kind of benefiting from this. And unfortunately, there was a lot of, how do you want to put this? Misinformation fed to Trump, I do believe. The real military people that knew what was going on said this was a bad idea. Trump was advised by another group of people that this is a great idea. Well, the Iranians are a lot tougher than people thought they were. I knew this from the get-go. I understand what goes on over there. I'm not that smart, but I pay close attention. It's not going at all like it's being talked about in our media. We're being fed a lot of propaganda. So please hear me out and please understand, like I said before, nothing against innocent Jewish people. Corrupt Israel, modern day Israel government, which is a deep state working with our United States deep state, is a big problem. This benefits the globalists. This sets us up for the collapse of our petrodollar, our collapse of our economy, the implementation of the digital dollar, and the new pandemic. They talked about this when Trump was elected. By the way, they said we're gonna hit him with some form of pandemic, and it's going to be possibly some kind of world war thing. This is it. Podesta plan, Civil War like conditions over here, sleeper cells, everything. And thank you for watching. Here we go.
We are entering the 416th day of the Trump administration, and all of our hard work to restore the republic and keep the country from collapsing into the engineered Rothschild globalist debt is in grave peril. The globalists used COBRA to derail Trump's plans starting 6 years ago in the middle of the first administration, and now they're using the Iran war. Now, this has been hiding in plain view, but I've made some phone calls and confirmed it, and I'm not defending what Trump did. With Trump, you don't have a Satanist globalist like Obama or George W. Bush, in my view, but you have someone that obviously is human and can make mistakes. And Trump's basically said a bunch. He said, hey, we only had a few days, a week. They were about to hit us. Hit us with what? Well, he was given intel, and it's now coming out that they were assembling the bombs. Now, we've been hearing for 25 years from Netanyahu that they're 2 weeks away. And I got intel from very high-level sources 15 years ago that indeed they had picked up particles of enrichment, because the U.S. and others have systems over there snooping, mainly in vehicles driving around, that suck it in and send it off to be analyzed, filters, and a lot more, that indeed they do have enough fissile material and it has been enriched to points to that. And that's just the facts of the information I have from good sources. And it's been borne out. Iran's come out in the last month and said, oh, we could be 1 week away from a nuclear test, or we can build a bomb. So I don't think the West has a right to strike them because of that. But Trump did run on the fact that he never let them have a nuclear bomb. And we know Trump, weeks before Israel hit them first, wanted to go in with a more limited strike. Israel went in balls to the walls and basically said, it's now been confirmed, Congress has been briefed, that indeed Israel said, hey, we're going in, the jets are already launched, we're going to kill the Ayatollah, and they're going to hit all your bases if you don't hit their missiles first. So they basically held us hostage and forced our hand into this. Trump was told it would last 3 to 4 days, 2 to 4 days. Of course, it didn't. I was called a traitor for pointing that out 12 days ago, that I believe this would go a lot longer. I hoped it would go quickly since we were engaged, but here we are. And Iran was 3 days from getting a nuke from North Korea before Trump launched Epic Fury. That's what they're reporting. That's what Trump was told. I don't know if it's true. Iran be able to make bombs in a week. That was Steve Witkoff in February, the U.S. head envoy. So this is a big deal. If we can, let's overhead shot over here, please. This is a big deal. And regardless, this is going down now. This is happening right now. And, of course, the Ayatollah or whoever's put out the statement, because he hasn't been seen since he reportedly was elected over the weekend, and then reportedly in a coma from the building he was in being bombed. At another big confab of the mullahs meeting yesterday, it got blown up by a gigantic bomb that can be seen a mushroom cloud 50 miles away, reportedly dropped by a B-2, one of those 30,000 pounders. I mean, this is just out of control. And the Iranians are completely emboldened and are just on a complete suicide mission, pledging to keep the Strait of Hormuz permanently closed. I said I believe Russia and others will basically announce World War III, or a new world war has begun within weeks. The next day, Putin came out and said we're essentially in a new world war. So I can't come on the air today and say that, okay, a new world war has now begun. No, we're just deeper into the Fourth World War. If you study the CIA's view on this, which I agree, the Cold War from 1946 until 1991 is taught in the intelligence colleges and the Army War College as the Third World War, mainly economic and covert, some of it military, but World War III has already been fought. This is the end of the first third of World War IV. This is the end of the beginning. We are now deep into World War IV, and soon you'll hear that announced everywhere. First they'll say it's World War III, and then the academics will say, well, it's actually World War IV. See, I study academic, geopolitical, energy, farming, military, telecommunications, sociology, anthropology, archaeology. You have to fuse all that together. And I study the globalists' own battle plans. Now, their program is falling apart. They're in disarray. They need a big war to come out on top in the fourth turning, which is a mega turning every 87 years, going back in every culture in over 7,000 years of human recorded history, has an 87-year cycle. And the fourth one, when it's been studied, is always the most violent. We're in a fourth turning right now, well documented. Historians, futurists predicted it decades ago, and we are here. So let me just let you know the news we're going to be breaking down. Everything I told you has now come out. Congress was briefed by the Pentagon last week and this week. The intel is that the regime would not fall no matter how many mullahs we killed. It would not last 4 days like CENTCOM head was telling Trump. The majority of Trump's top advisors, including the chairman, Joint Chiefs, said this is a roll the dice, don't do it. And now Trump's running around. I mean, I've got like 10 clips of him. You've seen it everywhere. Should we even play them? The war's over. We won in the first hour. Really, Iran's refusing to quit. And so is a little country called Israel, a military that happens to have a state. Both are run by fanatical lunatics. So here we are. And I told you 12 days ago, and boy, I got attacked as a Qatari agent. Really, I had never seen a check from Qatar yet. Never been to Qatar. No, remember, I supported Trump because he ran on, don't go to war with Iran. That's World War III. I'm peace. I won't go to war with Iran. See, I like that Trump. I'm loyal to that Trump. And I've been saying since last Saturday, I said, since we've engaged, I hope they fall, but I don't think they will. Trump, get your exit ramp, blow up their missiles, declare victory, stop in just a day or two. No regime change. They're going down. Bomb, 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 Iran. Bomb, 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 Iran. It's all so funny. It's all so cute. Sleeper cell operative kills a bunch of people in downtown Austin. Iran gives the go code to launch sleeper cell attacks, 4 high-tech drones stolen from an Air Force base today. We are off to the races. And yeah, even if Iran really didn't give the order for the sleeper cells to activate, Israel and others have gotten into all their codes. They could give the order with the codes to the sleeper cells, or the West could stage it and say Iran did it. But in Iran's doctrine and the Ayatollah, in a new statement he put out, if he put it out, it's officially on the government website, but he's reportedly in a coma, and I believe it hadn't been seen in like 6 days. He said, we've got a lot of unconventional things that we're about to activate against our enemies that they can't deal with. Talking about sleeper cells. So we do see a bunch of terror attacks happen. We just can't immediately jump to it being a false flag, but we also can't analyze the attacks, and there's evidence of false flags, obviously expose it. But Iran's doctrine is close the Strait of Hormuz, attack any country's military and energy and water facilities, desalinization that has U.S. bases, and launch mass sleeper cell attacks. So here we are. U.S. intel warned Iran regime not in danger of collapse even after Trump top leaders wiped out in strikes. And we've got the statement by the supreme leader, or whoever wrote it for him. He might be dead for all we know. And look at the New York Post headline: Iran's new impotent supreme leader releases first statement after reports he's in a coma, had a leg amputated. You know, I love the war propaganda, folks. Let's not engage in it. It's discrediting. Iran is not impotent. They just blew up more ships, more oil refineries. Israel got pummeled last night, and they're just getting started. They're not impotent. As Israel and others cover up the damage, and in Dubai, if you show missiles hitting that are hitting apartment buildings every day, you get arrested for cybercrime for showing it. I have articles on that. So let's not sit over here in la la land and act like they're impotent. They've already exploded oil prices just by attacking a few ships. And now they're really blowing ships up in and around the Strait of Hormuz, the Gulf. 2 big tankers went up in flames last night in the Gulf, the Persian Gulf. And Iran said, we're launching our biggest attack today. And they sure as hell did it. And now their missiles are doing something they didn't do 9 months ago. They come in and then they start moving around. What the hell is that? The Israelis fire 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 15, $500,000 missiles, $1 million missiles, some of them, and those ballistic missiles go right through. So, and then it still leaks out of Israel, just whole blocks blown to hell. Now, the Israelis have got big bunkers under every apartment building, so they're obviously wisely sleeping under the building. So there's not a high casualty rate, though there's definitely some dead. And let's pull back 35,000 feet. If Trump could get inflation under control and just slow the growth, depending on the numbers you look at, by 60, 70%, because there's going to be some inflation because it's happening all over the world, can't be contained fully. His idea was to innovate, get new jobs, higher pay, so it just kind of equalizes out. The most base thing to do, though, is to have really low energy prices. That's the most important first floor of and the foundation of any good economy is cheap energy. That means cheap food, cheap transportation, cheap everything. Trump got energy prices cut by almost half in just 7-8 months into his term, and it was going down more. That's all out the window. And you bake that in, according to all the economists have been proven right, you bake these energy prices in just for a few more months, we are that close to the recovery not working. And again, we're so deep in debt, the globalists want us to go bankrupt, the big banks that own our debt, the private Federal Reserve, that they want this. So they want to lock down the economy in Trump's first term so his recovery didn't work properly with the COVID hysteria, the pandemic. And now, war. And this war, the Iran war, is the new pandemic lockdown. It's the new COVID. It's a big deal. So oil's gone from $40 a barrel to $50 a barrel to up to $120 over the weekend. It's up at 80 something right now. Trump's war on Iran creates an economic storm for consumers and the Fed. Oh, the poor little Fed, the poor little victims. And now Trump's figured this out. It's like, war's over. It's all over for the unknown soldier. And Iran's like, it's not over till we say now. And Israel put out a statement saying, we're not stopping. So here we are with the tail wagging the dog with multi-thousand-year-old beefs. I mean, Israel had a celebration and attacked on March 1st during a famous holiday when 70-plus thousand Iranian oppressors of the Jews were slaughtered by the Jews. And Israel's like, yay, it's our holiday. Like we have Thanksgiving. You're remembering the Pilgrims and the Indians. And they have, yay, kill the Iranian Day. And we are in the middle of this cuckoo town stuff. You think the Crips and the Bloods are bad having a beef with each other, or the Hathcocks and McCoys. How about a 2,600-year-old beef? Not my beef. I don't want to hurt the Persians. I don't want to hurt the Jews, but I don't want you running my life and getting me into World War IV. Total, complete cuckoo town. Israel celebrate Purim with biblical comparisons as Iran war spirals. Yay! They killed us and put us in captivity. So then we overthrew them and killed them. Yay! We're doing it again. Yay! Kill, 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 kill. And in Hebrew, Netanyahu gets up and says, we're killing the Iranians. We're killing our old enemy. We've launched, the using the biblical term genocide into the Iranians. We are your friends. Rise up. You turn on Israeli TV. We're getting our enemies to kill each other. And then in English, we're like, we love you, Iranians. We're your friends. Good job. It's just like, man, you guys are sick in the Middle East. I mean, you guys are sick. But it's just constant tribal warfare, constant backstabbing, constant double dealing. Any historian will tell you, any anthropologist, any sociologist, the most backstabbing, twisted, manipulative, bullcrap cultures in the world are in the Middle East. The Romans wrote about it. I mean, if you want to be lied to, if you want to be backstabbed, be involved in the Middle East. And I'm just like, nope, that ain't me. You just keep all that to your double, triple dealing, backstabbing ways. You just stay right over there. No, thank you. And Trump's all spending it. Hey, we're the biggest oil producer in the world. When prices go up, we make a lot of money. Really, who makes a lot of money, Trump? You better order the oil companies to increase production and then not have profits then. It's a national security issue. You can do that. Oh, 100%. This whole war is benefiting China, which, again, BlackRock's invested in. They want, the big banks are in bed with China. They want to screw us over. Israel's only thinking about its interest for its hegemonic power in the region. Some of the Pentagon planners want to shut down the IMEC corridor and the Belt and Road Initiative. That's why the U.S. is involved. The Saudis, obviously, arch enemies is the Shiites, so they are on board. Israel, though, has the most powerful lobby and is the reason this happened and drug us in. So the Israel obsessed are scared of information. It's like, he knows how to read a book. I don't trust him. Or Pol Pot would kill you if he had glasses because you had an education. It doesn't take away from Israel being the precious devil to you, the little Satan, as Iranians call it, for me to explain the geopolitics and the other pieces of why this happened, okay? But it was the Israel lobby that was the power behind this to make sure it happened, and it was Israel struck first to drag us into it. So yes, Israel's the detonator. Israel's the most to blame of anybody, okay? But you can learn about Belt and Road and IMEC. You can learn about Sunni Shiite. You can do it. You're big boys. You can learn about petroleum dollar. Look at you wear your big boy pants.
So that pretty much sums it up. That's a lot of stuff that people don't want to hear, but that's the reality of the fact. The fact of the reality. However you want to look, this is where we're at. And you can get mad and subscribe. I don't mean to be trying to hurt anybody's feelings, but you need to be told the right thing. There's a lot of content creators right now that are benefiting from spreading propaganda, and the propaganda is to try to think that this is a good idea, to keep doing the ladybugs, Lindsey Graham thing. We're going to bomb the hell out of them. It's not working. It's only, and if Trump can't, you just can't pull out. It just doesn't work like that. This is going to be probably the most epic failures in American history, and I don't say that proudly. And like I say, nothing against Jewish people, just the corrupt Israel's deep state government working with our deep state government, which is all in cahoots with the globalists, which is against us, the American people, and anybody in an administration that's trying to bring America back to the American people. Thank you for watching, and I'll be doing a live later on tonight. Matt and I are going to talk about this, and like I say, please, thank you for hanging out. Thank you for understanding.